Hey guys, this is May, and in this video I'd like to talk just for a moment about the phrase, the eyes are the window to the soul. Now, having grown up when we would use this phrase, and I'm sure that you have heard this before, right? The eyes are the windows to the soul. It's a beautiful, beautiful saying, isn't it? However, when we look at language and we look at our inverted language and our inverted reality construct that we live in, we should examine a lot of these terms and phrases that we've grown to love and that we know are common usage in our vernacular, in our daily, just things that we've heard, and especially those that have a spiritual aspect to them, right? So typically, upon further examination, you can find that there's possibly another meaning or a double meaning, which is common. So something hit me recently as far as the eyes are the window to the soul. Okay, so for you guys, I'm sure for me, that always meant when you look at someone's eyes, you could see their soul, right? However, what about if we live in a holographic system, if we live in the Maya, in the illusion, in the simulation, if we are in a holographic field that is connected to electromagnetic fields and waves and frequencies, okay? Kind of like a TV station, right? So think about this for a moment. Think about when I'm going to try to describe this as best as I can, so bear with me. But think about with the television set, okay, a TV, or the black screen when your phone is off, right? So look closely at that black screen, and then look that you have your iris, right? Which is inverted is Siri. That's intentional. That's another story. So look at the pupil, the black circle, which can also be almost like a cube, really. If you stare at it long enough, it can change shapes, obviously, when it expands and contracts. So anyway, the black center of your eye is very similar to the blackness of a cube or a TV screen. And if your eyes are a sort of virtual reality headset, which is decoded, the eyes are only one of the senses that visually perceives the decoded messages, which is the mind, which for me is the energy field surrounding the physical form. It is a decoding of our world, which is probably, well, assuredly not what it really looks like, but it's in the 3D format. So who's to say, how is that any different from that of a television set, from that of a TV, from that of a black phone? So it's not. So you're on a frequency, you're on a station, just like with the internet, just like with the TV, just like with the phone. Okay, so you're looking out, and it's almost like from the point of view of a house, and there's the window, right? So picture the window, and then outside of the window, how is it that you're able to see that world from your little black, from your eyes? How are you able to view everything in order to decode it? Well, how are you having this experience, this life experience? It's the soul, right? You must have the soul. What is the soul? The SOL. The soul is the sun. The soul is the illumination of the world. The soul is the light. It is, if we're going to get real deep, we know what it is. It's the Son of God, the sun. It's what gives you life. It's the analogy and the symbolism in the very popular, you know it well, Bible. So, soul, SOL, if you add a U to that, it's so, which is really interesting, isn't it? That there's a U, as in you, right? Soul. So the eyes are the window to the soul. So when we think about how we perceive everything, we perceive it due to the soul. The soul is the illumination of this reality, of this holographic construct. Without it, without the soul, it'd be obviously complete darkness and black, which is on the other side of it is Saturn based, right? And we're actually ironically in the time, as we know, of Saturn, and this is his happy time as the sun falls, and here and the solstice is coming. So yeah, so the sun, we are limited with our exposure to the soul, to the sun, and I'm sure you're feeling it, everyone's feeling it. Um, but the phrase, what I'm trying to get at here is the phrase, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Actually, if you think about it, if you see like your avatar, your vessel, the little house that you live in, this body, which is also part of the illusion, just a carefully constructed part of the illusion, designed, um, but not designed that well when we think about bodily functions. That's another, it's a whole thing. So the soul, okay, just think for a moment. When you look out, there's the soul. There is the soul. Soul is your soul. You are connected to the soul, Soul. Think about what people say whenever there's a funeral. And I did a video recently on funeral, and the word fun is in funeral. I don't think that's by accident. So think about what's something they often say. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry for your loss. Well, when you invert loss, it's just one extra L. I mean, excuse me, S, which could be symbolic of Saturn and the serpent. Um, So loss, soul, is the opposite. Soul gives you the experience of this construct of life. This is what gives you the experience, the soul, what gives you the ability for everything, right? And it's what you need for in so many ways. It's the soul. So, but the question is what is the connection? The connection to the soul, you must have these little black dots that are in the part of the headset intentionally to connect us to this experience. I mean, the light has to be flipped on. You know, if you're wearing the virtual reality headset, there's got to be a button and you've got to be able to see through the black screen. And think of the screen as is the window to the soul. This hit me really hard recently, and I wrote it down, and I hope that I've explained it well. But I think one reason why I wanted to do it is because I think we look at it, everything is so backwards here. Everything is, we know it's a mirrored world, right? It's a mirrored upside down world. Just watch Stranger Things and you can see all the symbolism. God, Hollywood's amazing with all their symbolism. I don't know how NPCs in the whole world, how they don't pick up on this stuff. I don't think they're concerned because they know that most people will never. And there's so many astrological, so many zodiac symbols. God, I'm seeing it in everything. When I say zodiac, I mean obviously in the sky, astronomical, astrological. Although astronomical and astrological are both misnomers because they imply that it's outside of the Earth's atmosphere, and it's not. So we know we're in a contained field and a plane of existence. So anyway, that's just something to think about because it's an inverted, think about the Freemasons, the black and white checkerboard, white up and down, right? So language is very much like that. And I don't care what anyone says. Once you start realizing the inversion of language, the upside down, mirrored, inverted, numeric, alphanumeric, all the symbolism in language, which I am certain comes from the clock or the zodiac, okay? So once you figure all that out, then you start seeing you start noticing these nuances that are in words and language, and try to flip it around. Look at it from a different perspective. What does this really mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, eyes are the windows to the soul, but hang on. Not necessarily when you're not looking necessarily at their windows. You're looking out, right? Because the world is created from within. In other words, we feel like we're in this active matter-based physical world, but in reality, whatever reality is, no pun intended, whatever reality is, in reality, the truth is that we are creating it from the inside of our sphere, which is includes our body area network or aura, or the magnetic field which surrounds us, which is exactly how we do things. Like, how do you use your phone? I mean, how do you use your phone? How is it that your fingertips can work your phone? I mean, think about that. It's the same concept of seeing through the black part of seeing through our eyes. Okay, it's the same concept. It's we are connected to the ether, to the electromagnetic field. It's why the internet works, but it's why it's how it can use our body, our own electromagnetic frequency, electricity, if you will. And the sun or the soul is also electric, and we're connected to that. And we know it's much, much closer than they tell us, just like the moon. Oh, come on. We know it's much, much closer. But it's within us, like as within, so without, all that, as above, so below, all that stuff, right? So it's all coming from inside of us. It just appears to be outside of us, but it's not. I mean, it's outside of us in the sense that it's your aura is obviously extends a few feet around your physical self. But that whole part of you, and the CIA, by the way, who I've actually in my years of flying have interacted with, but the CIA does know. They do very well know that that's, and I know that it's listed as part of the body. So they just don't tell you that. I mean, they wouldn't tell you that sitting down with the doctor, would they? Well, let's talk about your aura or your body area network, your frequency. Yeah, that's not going to happen. But we're better than them. We're bigger and brighter and better than them. We know. So anyway, so I'll close with that. But I just want you to think about the soul. It's in its fall. He's in his fall right now, so he's falling. It's that time, the ecliptic. It's this is not the highest and brightest point of the year, and for a lot of us, no matter what your zodiac sign is, you're experiencing it. The darker days, the shortness. Um, Saturnalia is upon us. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, on the sun and the soul, and if hopefully I was able to convey this the way I am experiencing these thoughts myself and these downloads and messages myself. And I actually did I'm starting to create some on a board. I mostly do notebooks and writings, but I'm creating some on what do you call it, eraser board. So I will probably post a photo of that as well. And hopefully you get what I'm saying. And I believe that that's the double meaning, or the true meaning is, I believe it's our divine headset, our virtual reality headset, eyes, which is connected to the electromagnetic field, which is the mind surrounding us, and that is connected to the soul, and that's your little windows right there, with wipers, if you will, which we call eyelashes, right? We got our little wipers. So, and we make our own little tears. Very fascinating, fascinating, fascinating stuff, guys. Okay. Thank you so much for listening, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, and ironically, happy Sunday to you. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for listening.